How you doing? Sam Cologne here, aka The Messenger, and welcome to the show. Today we got some fire coming at you. I mean, it's been like multiple layers on this. So let's just hit on a couple of them. Three things, it's multi-layered, but we're gonna start off with as above, so below, as within, so without. Now, before I start getting into the meat of this, what I want to do is paint a picture, right? A picture of, is magic magic, or is magic really ignorance? And what I mean by that is, let's use the imagination here, right? Let's take one of our cars, right? And this car, this technology, we go and we plant this in the medieval times, right? And the reason why I'm using the medieval times, because back then everything, from what we've been taught, is witchery and sorcery, and witches got killed, and this, and warlocks, and all these things. So, but let's take this car and let's put it back then, and drive it into the village. Now you and I look at it like, oh, this is just a car. There's no magical sorcery to it. It's an engine, and it got oil and gas and gears and pistons, and we don't look at it like magic. But if we was to take it back to that time where they're ignorant to what a car is, what do you think is gonna happen? Right? They're gonna look at it like, oh my gosh, what is this? Magic, sorcery. Now, let's go a little bit deeper. Let's open up the hood and let's tell them that this car has 320 horsepower. Their mind is gonna be blown. It's like, what? This car has 320 horses in it? Again, ignorance. But the way they're gonna look at it is like, this is magic, this is sorcery, right? So I'm bringing this up and I'm going deep into this because I want you to understand the essence of this, because that's what's going on today. You've been led to believe that your true power, that your true essence is either a phenomenon or miracle, or it's this magic, right? And you can call it magic if you want. That makes you feel good, that's great. But the way it's been structured and put in front of you, it's been put in a way that you feel that magic is fantasy. And that these things that we're capable of doing, it's really fantasy. This guy's delusional. Oh, this woman's delusional. But every now and then you get what people like to call a miracle, because they don't understand what's going on. So they just chalk it up to, oh, that's a miracle. Or they go, oh, that's a phenomenon. Oh, that is a unique paradox, right? So these things that they try to make you feel that it's not the norm, right, for you, which, because it's not, because that's the way it's been strategically placed, you start to distance yourself from it to such a point that you start to register it as fantasy. And guess what? That's how you got, Disney movies, right? You look at Disney movies and the fantasy and this and that and the magic within that, and you look, it's placed that way so that now you can go deeper into the fact that you believe that this stuff is non-existent, that it's fantasy, that it's magic. But I just want to open up that thought in your mind that maybe it's not fantasy, and maybe it's just ignorance, right? And now in today's era, there's so many scientific studies that you can dive deep into if you want. Like if you truly want to know, and there's a lot of you, if you're watching this, you're a seeker, right? If you're watching this, you know. If you're watching this, you're going through a path of awakening, or you're already there and you understand, and you're like, damn, he's onto something. I want to help and I want to get this out of there. And so we're also going to talk about the conscious of the collective, and where we at, and what happens when we as a whole start to think and believe something, how it alters the reality that we live in, and therefore things that we were capable of doing, we can't necessarily do now because of the collective. But there are some of us that take a step back and we can rise above the collective vibration and think independently and actually see, oh, wait a minute, this is the collective belief. This is not my belief. But as the collective starts to shift, then we'll start to see things a little bit different. Because trust me, as I started to take this path, there's things that I saw that I'm like, this is freaking impossible. Then I personally experienced, and it's like, all right, I'm losing my shit. Then I surrendered to it and actually went with it, and then I was able to do things. There were others coming to me like, nah, no, this is not real, right? And it's because I've allowed myself to let go of these beliefs that we've been taught to believe, right? So today I want to go a little bit deeper as I started, as within, so without, as above, so below. Now this is a biblical term that's used, and it's used in a lot of different traditions, right? But what I want to share with you today is more the science behind this, right? There has been experiments that show, even if you get an egg, it has a North Pole and a South Pole, an energetic pole, what we like to call the positive and the negative pole. And when these forces come together, there's science behind this, and you can fact check everything that I'm telling you, that creates what it is that we're looking at, that creates the actual matter. Now, this traditional meditation that I'm going to share with you right now goes back probably way back than I can even know right now. But this is where it goes. What it is that you know at that point in time is how you are going to interpret, perceive, and act upon what it is that you know at that point in time, right? So let's call the shamans and the indigenous. There's this meditation that they used in the past where they go into the sacred heart space. Also, you have the mystics of the Jewish traditions also practice this. And what they do, they have a meditation where they take you to what they call the tiny point in the heart, right? And that tiny point equivalates to what science calls now the 0 point. The 0 point where it's the point of all creation, unlimited energy, and there's science behind this as well. There's some leading people on this that you can also investigate. Now, in the meditation, what they do is they raise their vibration by bringing a level of gratitude to their heart center. We're going to dive in a little bit deeper as to why it's important to elevate that energy around your heart because of the magnetic field that it produces. Now, when they start to elevate this energy starts to ripple into the body. Now, the first thing that you want to do is anchor yourself. And what they used to do in the indigenous cultures, they will send it to what they believe the earth is, the mother spirit. So they will call mother God, and they will send that down into the center of the earth. Then that resonance will start to come up into the body and shoot above and all around. Now they're resonating with the resonance of the earth. Now, the next step is you want to connect with the resonance of what they call Father God. Father God being the sun, the space, the stars, everything above, right? As above, so below. Now, these energies, as they come in, they meet in the heart. Now, when this energy meets in the heart, there's a specific meditation that I may share at the end, or there might be a different video where we'll probably put a door for you to get to. Maybe subscribe to our newsletter or our list, and then we'll send that over. Not sure yet. I'm still feeling out how I feel about sharing this with just anybody and everybody, right? And so what you want to do here is now these energies start to come together, and when they marry, when they come together, you will feel the vibration of your heart completely change, right? So again, now this is the way the indigenous people do it. Now, if you go on the other side, there's an experiment where they talk about the egg and the positive and the negative and how these energies come together. You can dive deep to that on your own. I'm just giving you a point of reference, but you try it personally. Now, I can't tell you how to feel or how not to feel, but I can guide you to the door, and now you at that point can say, oh shit, there's something here, I could feel it, right? So now when these energies come together, they create an energetic vortex where it's a very detailed, specific type of energy that you cannot ignore. Now, when this energy starts to open up, what you want to do now, you're going to go, now this, what I'm going here, people call that the third eye, right? There's a lot of science behind the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and how that works and how it activates DMT and how that, DMT is full of antioxidants. And there's a lot of science, again, behind this. But go do your own research so that now you don't have the ignorance and think what I'm sharing with you is just simply magic. So you take now you put your focus in here and you stay there for a moment and you imagine that there is an energy, that there is something there. Allow yourself to sense and feel that. Mind you, this vibration is wide open here. So what we want to do is we want to take that awareness and we're going to bring it to the back of our heads. You bring it down through the back of your neck, to the back of your heart, and then you allow yourself to surrender into that vibration in your chest. And when you do, you will feel what it is that I'm saying. And now these energies all come together. And it creates what we have been taught is called Holy Trinity, right? So most people say, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. In my belief, Holy Spirit is the mother, right? When they say the Son, I believe that it's the child. Because this world is not just sons. Right? We do have daughters, right? And so when we have the father, the mother, they come together and you release that consciousness into this space, you create the Holy Trinity. And when this triangle comes together, the energy that you're going to feel is next level. And now when you start to surrender into this space and this vibration starts to permeate into your cells, you're going to start to remember things that you're like, whoa, what is that? At least that's what happened to me. I started to remember things that I'm like, I never saw this in a show. I never saw this in a movie. I never heard anybody talk about this. I never read this in a book. Why am I experiencing this? Why am I being led to do this? Why am I being led to do that? And then as you surrender to it, you're going to have what people like to call synchronicities will start to pop up, right? Because as within, so without. Remember, as within, so without. It's not as without, so within. As what you're seeing outside is a reflection of what's within. So if you go inside and you allow yourself to surrender and let yourself free and liberate yourself, then outside you'll start to see the truth. But if you allow yourself to be manipulated into everything that it is that you're seeing outside, and let me read this book. And I'm not, let me say this first. I'm not saying that it's bad to read books. I'm not saying that it's bad to follow a certain person and see a role model and let that person lead you in a way until you find your own way. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that if you allow yourself to be dictated to everything that it is that you see outside, you'll never know the truth of what it is and who it is that you are. What I'm saying is allow yourself to surrender to yourself. Go within. Don't think, don't do anything, just go within. Allow that vibration to permeate every cell in your being and start to awaken you. And what's going to start to happen, the reflection will start to come out. And you'll see what they call in the Hermetic practices, the mirror effect, right? And so there's a lot of stuff out there as you start to navigate that this stuff has been passed down from culture to culture, from era to era, and it's just like it matches. Why does it match? If this stuff like this is 2,000, this is 5,000, this is 10,000, this is 30,000, and who knows? We don't know if it was true, if it was 30,000. None of us were here, but this is what's shared with us. But the thing is, it matches up. Come on, like that's not a coincidence, right? These are things that you left for yourself so that you can now recognize and unravel and let yourself free. Now, as you start to navigate, again, as within, so without, you'll start to see everything outside. I like to call them confirmations. Now, I'm a knucklehead, right? If something happens in front of me that's, you can call it miraculous or magical, I'm very skeptical. I can see it once and be like, that's a fluke. Right? If I see it again, I'm like, oh, well, maybe you got me. But when I see it the third time, that's it. Like, it's affirmed. Like, it's there for me. So that's a practice that I practice, right? 3, confirmation. I see it, I see it, I analyze it, and I be it, right? So usually when I see things as a reflection of the work that I've been doing within, I don't go jumping to it right away. And again, if that's you, if you have that level of trust with you, go with it. I'm talking about me. It usually takes 3 confirmations for me to be like, okay, I'm going to follow this trail. And so you start following the trail. Things are going to start happening, unraveling, and you start following the trail. As you start following the trail, people will come into your life. Books will come into your life. Podcasts will come into your life. Like, these things start to reflect what it is that you figured out inside for yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, nobody had to tell you that. You already experienced it. Therefore, when you get the reflection outside, it's simply a confirmation. Nobody has to tell you that it's true or not true, because you are getting a confirmation of something you already experienced. As within, so without. Now, let's move over to as above, so below. Now, there's a lot of things that, we've been taught when it comes to mindset. Right? You got affirmations, you got these things called mind movies where they take a whole bunch of images of the life you want to create. They throw a little bit of music on it. They say, watch this before you go to sleep. You got recordings that you listen to. You got hypnosis, all these different things and tools that they talk about, like a way for you to program yourself, right? A way for you to create the life that you want, right? Well, there's levels to this. So let's say this biological body that we have. When you start to understand what's taught out there as far as how the brain works, you have what they call the RAS, the reticular activator system, right? And so, like, they use this example as to if you're someone watching this and you're young and you never went and bought a car, then you're not going to understand this. I'll give you another example. But usually when someone buys a car, or they're thinking about buying a car, the only time they thought about this car, they probably saw it once, they started doing their research. But guess what happens in their mind? Now their filters get tuned in into this car. They see it everywhere. The car is everywhere. It's in their neighborhood, it's in the highway, it's in parking lot, it's everywhere. Why? Because they just activated this part of their mind that now opened up the filters that's causing the mind to now go look for it. And this is another level of what people call programming the mind. Now, as above, like above, you are thinking about this car. Guess what happens? Below, which is this world that we live in, you start to see it everywhere. Right? So I hope you're following me. As above, so below. Now, if you're in a younger generation, never bought a car, let's think about sneakers. That was me. Like, I would see a pair of sneakers, I'd be like, oh, those are hot, I want those, right? And in the moment I put my intention to, like, I got to do whatever the hell I got to do to get the money to get these sneakers, I started seeing them everywhere. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, those are sneakers that I wanted. Oh, those are sneakers that I just bought. I didn't see nobody with them before, and now all of a sudden I see it everywhere. All right, so if you can't relate to the car, relate to the sneaker, and I'm sure that there's probably something else out there, maybe a hat, maybe a shirt, whatever you into. Just try to connect these dots, because it's important, because you got to understand that what it is that you think about is what you create, right? Now, there are studies that talk about how we see things, right? And so I remember when I first started studying this, I was looking at certain books and stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? This doesn't make sense. So they would show that we see things upside down, right? And the thing is that we don't actually see the things outside. The mind interprets what it is that we're seeing, and we're actually projecting what we believe is our reality. Now, if you read just a simple book, and I think probably like the early 1900s, just a simple book about eye doctors, how they study the eyes back in the day, without connecting all the magic or mysticism to it, you will see that they'll explain that. Why does it not comprehend? It's like, oh, wait a minute, like we're not actually seeing. We're actually, the eyes are projecting what we're interpreting in our mind and projecting what it is that we see, which is very interesting. Now, a side note on it, there are shamans in indigenous cultures that believe that your personal reality, is only from fingertip to fingertip. That is your personal reality. This is your projection, right? And so let's go back to what I was saying about the eyes. All right, so you are not seeing what it is that you think you're seeing. You're seeing what you're thinking you're seeing. So your thoughts, the thoughts that are in your mind that you're constantly attaching your energy to. It's another thing that people talk about. Oh, where your attention goes, your energy flows, right? It's the same. It's a fact that when your energy, your mental thought energy is going to a specific thought all the time, you will create that in your life. And I've studied this again, I'm a knucklehead, so I've studied this personally in my own life. And letting go of old patterns is difficult, especially one that's really big that has us by the neck is financials, right? So it's known that finances controls a lot of people's emotions, right? So when we living it up and we got it, it's like, let's do this, let's go do this. We feel good. But when that money flow is not there, now you worried. I don't got it. I don't this, I don't that. Now, there's a lot of people that naturally they'll focus and be like, especially people that always hustled and entrepreneurs, okay, let's not focus on the fact that I don't got it. Let's focus on how we're going to get it, right? And then, yeah, they might have a period of time where it's a little dry, but then they focus and boom, they're out there. They're getting it again. But there are people that they've been in that poverty, energy, and mindset for such a long time that when they're getting themselves out of it and they fall back into it, they get sucked deep into it. And it's hard for them to get back out because all they're thinking about is, how am I going to get the money to pay this bill? How am I going to get the money to pay for my kids' clothes? How am I going to get the money, school's coming around, how am I going to get the money to get the kids' stuff to get back to school? How am I going to do this? And that energy, now you put all your energy and focus into that, and guess what you start to create? Over and over and over and over in a crazy, endless loop. Now, what happens is, what people use the term like attracts like. When you are in this vibration, in order for you to feel comfortable, you will start to bring in people that are in that same vibration or less. Why? Because they make you feel better. Why? Because they make you feel relatable. And so you'll start to bring people into your life that are on that same path, that are in that same thing, in that same energy, in that same vibration. And pay attention to this. Like, just pay attention. Right now, in this moment, close your eyes. Think about how you've been living your life. What are the things that you've been thinking about and what it is that you've been creating? Then taking a step forward and think about the people that you attract and go a little bit further. Think about times where you've had a good period in your life and the people that you had in your life at that point in time. And then think about when you regress and you go back to those lower vibrations where now you're struggling and all you think about is like, shit, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. What are the people you attract? Think about it. Exactly. Now, you have control over this. And all you simply have to do, don't fight it, don't struggle, don't do anything to try to like tussle with this. No, you rise above it. Allow yourself to let go of what it is that you think is happening, rise above it, and let that vibration rise and release it. As you start to release it with the intentions to bring in the highest and best for you, you just let go. And what starts to happen is your energy, your thoughts start to plug in to possibilities that are positive for you, that is positive for your family. And when the right one connects with you, you let yourself surrender to it. And now you start to think about this constantly. And guess what? When that happens and you actually bring your energy into it, people will start to come in that will reflect what it is that you are creating. So as above, so below. So mind your thoughts. Mind your thoughts, because the things that you think about, you will create. Now, thank God that we don't create everything that we think about, because, God, I know I'll be thinking some crazy shit sometimes. So, but these are the things that you actually put your energy to, right? So there is, again, what we can call science, or we can call a magic to this. There's a method to this. And the method is you have the broadcast, right? Then you have the energy, the feeling. And when these come together and you allow yourself to surrender to this energy starts to permeate your cells in your heart, and it starts to go into your field. That's when you start to actually create. That's when you're creating. You're not being used as a puppet to create. Because there are so many things, if you think about it, that goes on right now in our world, in our country, that's used to control you. Right? Even down to the fact of where you live. And that one was a hard one for me to be like, nah. Because where I grew up, I grew up in the ghetto, if you want to call it that. I hate using that term, but a lot of people are going to understand what I'm talking about if I say that. And so living in that type of poverty, living in that type of, dog eat dog type world, living in a world where, your biggest role model is the drug dealer making the most money, where did that come from? Like, where did that come from? Like, what, we just by happenstance that most minorities live in these areas? No, that's not by happenstance. Right? And so and I'm not doing this so that you can feel like some victim, because that's bullshit. Because you're not a victim. But I'm saying this so that you can have a sense of awareness of what is going on. And so the things that are happening is by design. And if you don't take a step back to take a look at what's going on, then you'll just be a puppet, a battery to create a sense of energy that's blind and in fear and desperate. That energy is they're feeding off your energy to create this reality. And what I'm saying to you, if you liberate yourself and you start to understand how much energy that you cultivate to create this world that we all live in, you won't do the things that you do anymore. I guarantee it. And again, there's science behind this stuff. Like, if you think about the human cell, according to science, right, so that we don't think this is magic, has 0.7 volts of electricity. Now, according to science, there are some scientists that say it's 37.5 trillion. There's some scientists that say there's 50 trillion. There's others that say there's 100 trillion. But let's use the lower one, 37.5 trillion cells in the human body. At 0.7 volts, that is the equivalent, again, you can fact check everything that I'm sharing with you right now. That is the equivalent of 2.5 lightning bolts. That's how much energy is in the human body. But you've been trained to ignore your body. You've been trained to ignore energy because it ain't real. If you don't see it, it ain't real. If I don't see it, I don't believe it. I was one of those people. I got indoctrinated with that. If I don't see it, I don't believe it. But when you let go of that and you allow yourself to experience, there's things that you will experience and you're just like, I don't know how to explain this shit, but I feel it. I sense what's going on, right? And so, give me a second. That happens sometimes. My bad. All right. So when you start to familiarize yourself with this energy, you're going to understand yourself even more. And as you start to understand the amount of energy that's in the cell, I want to encourage you to just start with just one cell in your body. Just with one. entrain yourself. Close your eyes, take 2-3 minutes, whatever, and allow yourself to dive deep within yourself and just try to touch on one cell into your body. Bring your focus down into one cell. And when you see that one cell, allow yourself to dive deep into that one cell. Just do that. I'm not going to share with you what it is that you're going to experience, because then I don't want to suggest anything upon you. But you will see what's going to happen. And if you do that, please share your experience below. And as people start sharing your experience, you guys are probably going to be from all different places, and you all going to have a very similar experience. And as you start to navigate and understand your energetic field, let me give you this example. Electricity. Do you see electricity? No. But that shit powering our lights, powering the camera right now that we're recording on, powering the speakers and everything that's going on over there. But it exists. All right. Now let's use this for example. Our phones. All right. Our conversation is flowing through the air. We don't see it. We just pick up the phone and we make a phone call. I plug in your frequencies. All right. 201. Blah 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 blah. Boom. And I'm connected to you. I plug in your frequencies, I get you. It's the same thing with Wi-Fi. Do you see Wi-Fi? We don't see Wi-Fi, but we know it's here. Why we know it's here? Because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't have internet. Right? So there are things that are in the unseen world that exist. But you've been distracted, again, by design, for you not to understand your true essence. And as one of the biggest things that they distract you with is finance. Finance brings fear. And now throw a little sprinkle of salt on that. If you have a kid and you're a responsible parent and you want to take care of your kids, they get to you through your kids. Because now you want to be able to give your kids the most beautiful life. That's what we're here to experience, the most beautiful creation that we can create. And you want that for you, and you want that for your family. You want that for your wife, if you have a spouse, or if you have a husband. You want that for your children. Now, when you can't get anything for you, yeah, it's stressful. Yeah, it's whatever. And you can allow yourself to handle it. But if you have a kid, and you want so much for that kid, and you can't give it to that kid, that hurts, right? And so when you're in that vibration, they keep you down. Right? So, again, there are a lot of things going on that are being used to keep you at a certain vibration, at a certain thing where now you're blind to what's going on because you're constantly freaking out. Just because you ain't out here freaking out, catching a panic attack, doesn't mean that you're not freaking out inside. And there are many people that are freaking out inside. And what they do, they give us more and more tools to distract ourselves. Like this thing right here. It's a distraction. Many of you, let's just say many people in the world, you are so afraid to feel what it is that you're actually feeling that the first nanosecond that you get that you can spend by yourself, you'll find a distraction. And most of us get the phone. And we'll tell ourselves, oh, well, I got to do this because I got to blah, 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 blah. Or I got to answer this email. Or I got to answer this text. Or I got to watch this video because it's teaching me how to do this. Or I got to listen to this podcast because it's teaching me, I got to listen to this book because it's going to, I'm personal developing. All that shit. All of it. Even the things that we think is good. It's a distraction to keep you from going within. Because when we let go of all the distractions, all the books, and again, it could be all good stuff. Let go of all the books, let go of the phone, let go of the music, let go of everything. Take a moment to yourself to be outside. Find somewhere quiet in nature and sit down by yourself and do your best not to get consumed by your thoughts and just breathe. And you will feel a sense of refreshingness in your body that you won't be able to explain, but you can't deny it. right? And so the more and more you do that, the more and more you allow yourself to cultivate and be in your space and be in your energy, you start to get familiar with it. It's like going into a new room. You go into a new room, you're trying to figure things out. Oh, where's this? Where's that? Where's this? Once you're in that room long enough, you can walk around in the dark and know exactly where everything is. It's the same thing with spending that time with yourself. At first, it's going to be like, oh, what is this? What is that? First, it's confusion. Then it's a sense of excitement because it's like, oh, I just discovered that. I just discovered this. But then after that, you start to embody and you know who you be. And you will be such a high, elated vibration that everywhere you go, people are just like, what's up with you? What's going on with you lately? What? You look different. And then the people that are like in that awakening process, they'll start to say things like, you look bright. That's your light. Oh, you look something different about your face. Oh, what is up with you? Why you always call me at the right time? That's because you are in that phase of awakening, right? You're in that phase of being. And when you get in that phase, you get to the point of wanting to be a servant. You want to help others. And that's where this whole thing with the messenger came from, right? Because now you start to become a messenger for other aspects of yourself, for other people. And as you start to recognize this, you start to realize that what people talk about, we're all one, we're all one. And as you start to feel that and be that, you will be at the right time, all the time, speaking the things that have to be spoken to awaken that fellow brother and sister. And the things that come out of your mouth, they're just going to be like, how you know? Like, how you speaking this right now? And it's because it's coming from them. You are a reflection of that person. That person is a reflection of you. And as you start to work through these things within yourself, you start to discover new people. I remember Sadhguru was one of those people. I didn't know who the hell Sadhguru was. But as I started to unravel things inside of me, he popped up in my reality. That's not a coincidence. I wasn't looking for him. He popped up. And so there are a lot of other people that I'm sure that you don't know about because they don't post stuff. They're not out here posting stuff. I honestly, it was hard for me to get on camera and share this with you. But I realized that there are a lot of us out there consuming content to keep you distracted. So why not plug in content that actually awaken your ass? Give you that nice shake that you need and snap you out of it. So that now you can take the time to at least have an experiment with yourself. Have an experiment. You have all your life for this, right? And have an experiment. Give 15 minutes a day to this experiment. You got 24 hours in a day. Give yourself 15 minutes. Practice just being in silence, breathing, and then even trying this meditation that I'm going to share with you guys. And in this meditation, it will be less than 15 minutes, right? Because a lot of us, we're caught up in this. We have busy lives. A lot of us are very busy creators, right? And so we're out here, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this. So it's kind of hard for us to conceptualize and say, well, I don't got an hour to be meditating, 2 hours, 3 hours. No, 15 minutes. Do an experiment. 15 minutes a day for 90 days. And you tell me if you don't have a different set of lens of what it is that you live in, what this life is, who you are, what it is that you're here to do. Give it a try. What's 15 minutes for 90 days? That ain't nothing. But what you can get out of that, next level. Next level. And what starts to happen, I started off with this in the beginning, is as the collective consciousness. The more of us that start to believe in ourselves and start to embody that energy, the more the collective consciousness, the collective energy starts to rise, and then the more we can unlock ourselves and our abilities and the things that we can do. But right now, as a collective, it's been strategically done that you watch certain TV shows. You start to show, and I know I do it too. I show my kids, we have Disney and we watch all the movies and things like that. And I also try to like plug in certain things and tell the kids, like, break them out of the thing that they think that this is just magic, you know? But I just plant seeds with them. I don't impose. Even with my own kids, I just plant seeds. But It's done, again, it's done by design so that now you can think like, oh, this is fancy, this is this. And it's been done in a global way where we think that this is like, oh, this is fake. And so what starts to happen is, as a collective consciousness, we start to have this inability to do certain things. We believe that we can't do it. But if you go to cultures that haven't been touched, right, by electronics, by so on, and they actually understand energy and their traditions have been kept, this collective consciousness, they rise above it. And when you go to these cultures, you'll be like, what the hell? How the hell they know this? There are scientists now. There's actually an indigenous culture up in the mountains of Colombia that they know by what they call spirit, that they've been told to start sharing. The humanity is now ready to start listening because now they have somewhat of the science to allow their brains to understand. And what they understand and what I understand is that if everything was to be uncovered to you right now, you'll probably go apeshit crazy. You'll lose your fucking mind. But they understand that if the brain can use what we call knowledge to understand what's going on, now you can start taking it in bite-sized pieces. And you can start to digest. And now your brain starts to be like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, this makes sense. And now you start to have the experience because you've been allowing your brain to make sense of things, right? And for most of us, we need that because we're so stuck in our heads. Again, by design, you've been taught this. You've been taught this is how things are supposed to be. And therefore, in your mind, it's hard for you to understand things. Now, I'm gonna give you a quick story about me, my son. Me and my son were playing a game. Now we make up games all the time. So my youngest son, Dante. So he goes, Dad, let's play a game. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do this. He goes, all right, this is the game. We're gonna see who can get fastest from here to here. I'm like, all right, I got you. He's like, you go first. I'm like, all right. And I go as fast as I can and I go up there. I'm like, top that. And he goes, all right, cracks his neck, moves his wrists around. He gets ready. He's like, you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. He goes. And I was about to say, nah, bro, you cheating. But before those words came out of my mouth, I said, he's fucking right. There's no reason why we got to do this to get here. But we've been taught that. You've been indoctrinated to think that. I've been indoctrinated to think that. So much so that he didn't give the terms to the game. He just said, this is what we're doing, here to here. There was no details. I automatically stacked my hands to get up there. He didn't have to say that. I did that. But I'm fortunate to have done work where I can realize this pattern and see it as a teaching for me. See it as a way for me to understand what it is that's going on and be able to now be in front of the camera and share this with you. Now, again, back to this culture that's Colombian culture is in the mountains. They have not been touched by any electronics and all these things. Now, what they do, the shamans in their tribe, they're called mamus. Right? And the mamus, there are people that have different information, but the way I was taught is they're kept at the birth when the mamus know when another mamu is coming. And when they come, they put them in a cave. And for 9 years, 9 days, and 9 hours, they're in that cave. They don't see the outside world. But after that, when they come out, they have a different sense of reality. They have not been tainted by what people say reality is. So they see things and they sense things differently. Right? So now this culture is saying that us as mankind, they look at us as the little brother. us as mankind is ready to start to integrate this because we have science that's helping our brain be able to take this in bite-sized pieces, right? And so now they're starting to talk to scientists and share things with scientists. And scientists, their mind is freaking blown that they understand quantum physics without knowing what the word quantum physics is. And so what I'm sharing this with you because if you allow yourself to let go of what it is that you think reality is, and before I go deeper into that, just come to the understanding that everything, even the words, this English language that's coming out of my mouth, I've been taught that's my language to speak. The color black, the color blue, the color green, I've been taught that. I didn't come up with that on my own, right? Sky is blue, the green is grass, the grass is green, right? So I've been taught that. Now, allow yourself to let go of everything that you think you know, and you can do this through meditation. Allow yourself to think that the breath you breathe is real. Allow yourself to let go of everything and be in that space. As you allow yourself to liberate, be liberated in that way, you'll start to now be able to integrate that new information that's there for you. And the right people, and the right books, and the right podcast, and the right environment will start to be projected from your being. Right? Now, before we get off, I just want to say, again, take the time for you to do this. If you don't got 15 minutes, do 5 minutes. Every day, 5 minutes for you. Now, I'm going to call my producer in real quick. B, you want to come in? Gotcha. It's going to be really short, and I'm only going to do this a short meditation because where time is done, and also I don't want to give you too much. So it's going to be a very short meditation. We're going to do probably 3 minutes, but I just want you to feel this connection.
Okay.
All right? So take a moment, close down your eyes. Wherever you are, find yourself. If you want to lay down flat, that's cool. But if you're sitting, allow yourself to find your butt bone. So B, if you could just pull your butt out a little bit, find that butt bone. You got it? Mm-hmm. All right. You see how it fixes up the spine. You find that posture. And when you get that posture, you take a nice deep breath in, lift up your shoulders softly, and then let it go. Relax. Again, inhale through your nose. And then relax. All right, so in your mind's eye, let's bring in an image of a person, place, a thing that you absolutely love and adore. Instantly bring them into your heart. Feel that. Now, take a slow, deep inhale to your heart and fill up that image with golden light. And as you inhale, see that golden light turn into a golden sphere circle. And as you exhale, send that down to the center of the earth, Mother Earth. Now as Mother Earth feels that energy, your love, let that energy now be reciprocated. Let Mother Earth send that energy back to you. Feel that energy rising up your legs, your knees, your thighs, your stomach, your arms, your chest, your neck, your jaw, your face, your ears, the back of your head, out to the top of your head. Take a nice, slow, deep inhale. Feel that energy. Very good. Now, bring an image in your mind's eye of the night sky. Think about a picture that you've seen of the stars or the Milky Way or the nebula or whatever it is. See that image in your mind's eye? And allow again your heart to start to permeate that golden light energy. Take a nice, slow, deep inhale. See that golden sphere. And as you exhale, send that golden spear up into the center of space. Now Father Sky feels that energy and sends it back down to you. Feel that energy coming down to the top of your head. Allow yourself to receive it. Down your face, the back of your head, your ears, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your stomach, your pelvic area, your thighs, your knees, all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Feel that energy. Now, allow yourself to get very intimate with this energy and bring the energy from Father Sky and Mother Earth. Slowly inhale and bring it into your heart and feel them unite like they haven't seen themselves in ages. Inhale. Feel that. That's all you. Now, allow them to bring your awareness into that space as their child. Feel that embrace. Now, allow yourself to surrender to that just for one moment. And I'm going to play an instrument to help you harmonize that vibration in your body. Now take a nice deep inhale into that heart space. Nice, slow, deep inhale. Feel the energy. Keep on, keep on. And then as you let go, let that vibration right in the center of your heart be like a drop, bloop, and let it ripple through your whole body, through your whole being, all around you. All right. And when you're ready, the count of 3, you can open up your eyes. 1, 2, 3.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
Yeah. How you feel?
I feel good. I feel good.
Yeah.
Like I've been feeling, I was telling my wife yesterday, I've been feeling wound up. I don't feel wound up. Like what you said, when you're on that path, and all day today is just, even you said it, like, yeah, you look different than last week. And I needed that. Just to release, you know? Appreciate it.
You got it, brother. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you have like tears in your eyes.
It's a fact.
You know, I know this is an intimate question,
Yeah.
but why? What provoked that? Like, what feeling you feeling right now? That
It's all good. It's okay to be okay. Living in a life of getting it out the mud and getting it out the mud and getting it out the mud, it do get heavy. That shit get heavy.
Yeah, 100%.
So to be in a space where I can let it go, I can get it off of me, it's like, cool. It's okay to be okay. Just because it ain't no turmoil or nothing crazy, because that's what it really boils down to. Is like, Work is good. I'm making money. Like, life is not this turmoil and calamity that I've been used to. So what to do with that energy has been a thing. I'm not beefing with nobody. So why do I feel so wound up? My wife is like, well, sometimes you just need to chill. Just let it go. And letting it go is not just saying letting it go. It's like actually surrendering and giving it, like giving it. It's like an offering. When you said feel the energy and bring them together, no lie, I felt this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nah, just, you good.
Yeah.
Like, just, you good.
Good. Good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, my brother. I felt it. I definitely felt the energy in here moving. Yeah, so that was beautiful. So for you guys watching, you're gonna feel the same thing, or your own way, but you will feel the energy. You will feel that release. You will feel that safeness to be able to surrender just for that brief moment. Take this short meditation and do it over and over and over every day for the next 90 days. And like I said, there's a deeper, more detailed one. It'll be about 15 minutes. It's usually, when I do it, it's a long process. When I'm working with someone, it's more like an hour, because we want to let the nervous system relax. But you don't need that. You don't. Some people think they need that, but you don't need that. Everything is happening now, 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 now. Now, all you got to do is just make the decision that I'm going to do this now. And that's it. You let it go. All right? So, much love. Love you all. I can't wait to the next episode. I can't wait to see the feedback that you guys share with this. And there's a lot more coming. Until next time, peace.
Another day.